Is the slide visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll begin our class. Can you recollect what we have done in last class? Yes, anyone? Adarsh, can you explain what was done in last class? Yes, Adarsh, you can tell me. Are you there in last class? Are you present? Sanjana, can you explain what was done in last class? How much we covered in last class? Anyone? Okay. So we will go with our recap. We have already completed the search, binary search and a linear, which we already done with the different data structures. Then we started with our sorting methods. Okay. So almost we covered almost all the sort here. So you can see the bubble sort, which is simplest of that. Then we saw a insertion sort, merge sort, quick sort, and a radix sort, a kind of starting with this. So today we'll see other kind of information. Okay. So to start with, I will be starting with our radix. We last class we have started with our radix sort. So what is this? The basic meaning of radix we already seen. It is meant that we are now going with the base, the number system. Okay, the base of that. Okay, how we represent each number system. So in last class we saw a simple example. This is a binary system, so you can see all of them are represented by ones and zeros. Okay, so we saw that first of all we have to represent any the given array or given list into a equal number, the maximum number. If it is in this case it's a 7 here. Okay, so 111, it requires 3 digits of three place for to represent that. So you require to identify the maximum number and try to represent in that number system, and you represent all other numbers or all the digits in the same space. The width has to be same. That is the important criteria for this. Okay, so first identify the maximum number and try to see how many digits are required or how many places are required to represent that. Okay, let it be a binary system or a decimal or any kind of radix. That is not a first is to identify the maximum number and represent that and see how many number places it requires to represent and represent all of them with the same width. That is important for us. Okay, then once you identify the number of places here, we'll start from the lowest bit. That is the second phase of that. Okay, so lowest weight, if I see put it in a weight order, because we have a number system which is a weight. Okay, which is associated with a weight. So you already know the binary, it is 2 raised to, it starts from all the binary system. So it is the first place of that, then the second, then the third one. Okay, so each one is in the ratio of 2 raised to, we have a 2 raised to information here. Okay, so it is the weights are associated with that. Okay, so in the first, we remember it start from the lowest, the last bit. Okay, the least significant bit. Okay, it starts from there. Okay, then it is trying to see here this particular column with the next order. The in this binary system we have only two numbers or two informations. So we have zeros and ones here. So what is done in this case? Zero is, it has to be kept as the first because it's the lowest one. Then it is compared. This particular information is compared. And now when it comes to this particular information here, this particular row, what is done? One is, it will just go on, but when it comes to 100, you can see it is happens to be the less than this particular information. So we are going to put this 100 into the either the 101 place. Okay, so that is how it starts. Actually everyone will be shifted at the same time. So then it is 10. So basically we are trying to arrange, organize the zeros we are trying to, at the end of this first sorting, we will get a partition of buckets. We call this as a buckets. Okay, buckets in the sense I have two categories. It's a binary system, I get two buckets. If it is a decimal, I'll get 10 categories. That is the, sorry, it can go from a 10 variation from 0 to 9. So bucket is something like you're trying to put a different categories or different information and combined together kind of. So it is here we get a vertically, we can see there is a partition with a, it's a binary system. So zeros are placed in one order and ones are placed in one order kind of. Okay, so we get, this is the initial partition of that. Okay, then the same information is repeated in the second column. Okay, so now the again, though we see it is the, if you see this change arrangement, now it is arrangement is with respect to the second part of that, second digit of that. Okay, that is how it is going to be sorted. Okay, that is how it is going to compare. Now the complexity, if you see, it is just comparing the number of digits or radix, it is base. Okay, whatever we are comparing. If it is a binary, I have to just compare zeros or a ones. If I've got a decimal system, then I have to compare only 0 to 9 values. Okay, so I'll be just comparing and grouping them in a different order based on only those space. That is a space of searching for them or sorting them. Okay, that is how the your sorting take place in a radix space. Okay, so third one, it goes because it is the width of that your the information is 3 bits here. If it is a 5 bits, then it will repeat until the width of that. That is how the radix sort is going to start with. Okay, so we'll take an example and we'll try to complete that. So this particular radix sort is also compatible not only for binary, it can go for any kind of base system. So this is one more example which is given with the your decimal system. But observe that when 32 has to be represented, it has to be represented with a number of the same width. See here, the maximum number is, if you see, it is a 252 is a maximum number. So it requires 3 places. So that accordingly your lower digit or lower values also is represented by that many values. So for example, I have 1,000 here, 1000. Okay, then number of bits to represent this 32 also will be 0032. So we'll be padding with the zeros here, the higher order. So just to represent, make that equal. It works only when we have a equal width of for all the your what is it, bits of that. Okay, each number, that is where the complexity, if you see the spacing, we'll see that. Okay, that is required for, it's a mandatory for our radix search. Okay, sort. Okay, now let us take a simple example. Okay, so you have seen that it can work with any radix. We have given one example with binary, one with the decimal. We'll try to take some more examples. So this is the algorithm what it will go for any radix system. Okay, so first and foremost, it will go with the finding the largest element in the given array. Okay, now why I require this? I have to represent the all the numbers in that many digits. Okay, so we'll find out the largest element, then using this largest element we have to represent that. We'll find the number of digits to represent that. So that is the bucket which I am referring to. So if I've got a binary system, I'll have two partitions, so two a kind of partitions. Or if I've got a decimal, I'll be having 0 to 9 partitions, because in each one I'm comparing, I'm trying to reorder them or group them based on that number of that is base system basically. Okay, so that is the second step of that. Then what you're trying to do, then create a bucket is nothing but depends on how many digits are there. See, if I have a 5, because I have to go for 5 iteration, if the width is 5, if I've got a 3 digit information, then I have to repeat that for 3 iterations. So that is the how we'll be going for a loop there. Okay, now again the size here depends on a radix is nothing but your the base system which we are referring to. Okay, so we are trying to put a loop we'll be collecting for that many iterations, the width of the number, okay, the maximum number which we have represented. Then sort the array element using the counting sort. Counting sort, we'll see that how it is done, okay. So it is same as your stable sort. We call this as a stable sort because if I've got a same, if it is repeated, say same number is repeated twice, then also we were able to get a similar kind of the hierarchy or category will be same there. Okay, so we call this as a stable sort there. Okay, so we'll take one example here. Okay, so this is, if you see, this is a your decimal system. So in this decimal system, what is done here, I'm trying to see the, this is how many length, you can see 4 5 6 7 8. There are 8 values, the array length is 8 here. The first and foremost is identify the maximum number. So if you see the algorithm to start, I have to start with finding the maximum number in this. Okay. So once I find the maximum number, so, and I'll try to represent how many digits are required in this. Okay. So this will be the 3 digits. Okay. So the decimal system. So I'll be requiring 3 iteration. That is basically I have to iterate thrice. Okay. Then we will be going from the zeroth place. That is the zeroth place of your any kind of, that's a LSB of us. Okay, so we'll be starting with that zeroth place to begin our iterations. Okay, so this is what happens. This is a your zero, the first part, the lowest order of that. So we'll begin here. This is what I'm referring as a bucket here. So it's a decimal system. I can have maximum these many categories. Okay, 10 variations or 10 buckets if I see. So what do you mean by bucket here? In this case, the first one, see here, 181 is there here. So this, the first, the digit of whatever you have is contain the 1 here. So it will be put into the 181, the one, the bucket of 1. I call this as, which contains the last digit as 1. That is the one group. It is basically grouping of that. Okay. So 89 will go to the ninth one because it contains the last digit as 9 here. Okay. Then what happens? 390. 0 happens to be the which we are trying to compare here. So it will go to the zeroth bucket here. Okay. Then 121. If you observe here, 181 is already placed here and 121 comes at the fourth place of this. So again it is, if you compare here, there is no ordering. The order is just as they occur here. Okay. So we are not again sorted in between. So as they occurred, we are just combining, or we are trying to put them in one category, but we are not sorting in between here. Okay. So 181 is, although it is more than 121, we with this you can get a sorted in a next level basically. So this will be placed as it, the occurrence of that. Okay. So it will be placed as it is. Next, what happens? 145, it will go to the fifth bucket, and this will go to the sixth, and so on so forth. So this is the first iteration, first phase of your sorting. So when we see this, this is how the your array looks like that. Initially, we had a different order. When we complete the first phase of that, we are just ordering based on the last digit of this. Okay, so the order of it just mentioned in the last digit. We are just referring as a reference. Okay, so we are trying to keep a reference of last digit, and you can see all of them are ordered in that particular information. Okay. So that is the first phase, the first one we are going to begin. Next, what may happen? We'll begin with the second digit here, second order or second place of that. Okay, 10th place. It will be the 10th place for us because it's a decimal number system. So again, if you see, observe the bucket, I'll be having a fixed bucket because it's a decimal, depends on the radix here. If it is a binary, I'll be having only 2 categories. If it is a decimal, I'll be having 0 to 9. Okay. So in the second phase, or whatever the second part of that, the 9, this 9, 390, which was the first value, but now we are sorting based on the second value of that, second digit of that. Okay. So 9 happens to go to the 9th bucket of this now. Okay, which was occurred at the first one, but it is going to be the, because the sorting is depending on the middle digit or the second digit of this. Okay, so it will go to the 9th bucket, so on for the other things. Now what happens, you observe in the second part of this, 181 and 121 are placed in the first bucket in the previous phase. Okay, now what happens, now I'm comparing based on the second digit of this will go to the 8th bucket and this will go to the second bucket. Okay, so you can see now 121 happens to be the more before your 181. That is how the sorting takes place there actually. Okay, now everything, if you observe, they are ordered according to the second digit. Okay, we have lost the second. You can say that this ordering of in the first digit is been rearranged basically. Okay, based on the occurrence of the information. So you can compare that with the 121 and 181 here. Okay, so previously they were occurring in the 181, then 121. Now we are comparing with the second digit here. So 121 occurs before 181 here. Okay, so kind of when we go for a second phase, a kind of sorting is already taken place there. Okay, that is the second part of that. So if you see the array representation, this is was given. If you observe, this is the given array. Okay, which we have to sort, and this has happened in a first phase of that, and you can see all the last digit. Okay, they are organized in the order of your radix system. Second, in the second part of that, all the second digits, if you see, the second digits are organized based on that radix system. Okay, so that is what happens in a second phase of this particular algorithm. Now it will go for one more iteration, because we have the digit, the maximum number of digits or a length of that which we have to iterate is 3 here. Okay, so it will go for the next phase of that. Now what happens, you observe here, now we are comparing this particular third digit. Okay, third part of that, or I can say in this case it's the most significant part of that. So you can see 121 which has got a 1 here, and 145 also has a 1 here, and 181 is already in this part. But when it is put into the bucket, because they are already sorted in a second lower phases, they occur in order here. 121, then comes 145, then 181. Okay, so that is how you can see they are ordered already. They are already organized here. Okay, then comes your 212, because it is going to the second bucket, and same as 289 will be put into the second bucket. But again observe, they're ordered because these informations are already sorted in a lower phase of that. So that is the reason, though it looks in a second phase or a third, if you compare them, it looks different. But when we end with the end, the last digit, we can see that they are all sorted. We'll get a sorted information, and with the main difference, you can see always it is just grouped into this 9, the radix number of your base system. Okay, so if it is a binary system, always I'll be comparing only I'll be putting into the bucket of zeros and ones. In this case, it is 0 to 9 categories. Okay, it happens to be, it is easier to implement in your programmatic concept, because I have to iterate not depending on the number of elements here. I'm iterating on the based on the number of digits I represent there. Okay, so if it is a 5 digits, see, you can see 8 values are there, 8 elements are there. I'm not iterating for 8 times. Basically, for loop will go for the your 3 times. Okay, and this sorting happens to be a recursive. I can call this repetitively. Okay, that is the advantage with the radix. So the complexity happens to be in a different form, so it depends on the radix system, the base of that. So the number of digit, the maximum number, if you have a what do you say, the number of digit to represent happens to be the bigger, then it depends on the that base system of the, how you represent that. Okay, so that is the your radix sort there. So at the end of your the last iteration or last phase, you can see all the elements which are there. The given is this, and you can see they are all sorted in a right way. So we require, though we require how many sort you can see here, though it is 8 element, I'll be doing a 3-phase iteration. I'm trying to put them into the particular buckets here, or a kind of putting into the particular information at particular depending on the radix of that. Okay, so that is the radix sort. That is why the name comes out to be the radix here. The sorting depends on even the base system, how you represented that digit, okay, that number. Okay, is there any question on this? Is there any doubt in this? It's a very important algorithm or a sorting, because it is used most of the place in our computer systems, or it's a better than the other sort which we see in a bubble compared to bubble sort or other kind of. Okay, so any doubt in this? Is it clear for you? Yes, students, is it clear? Any doubt in this? Yes. Is it clear or not? Any doubt in this? Are you
No, ma'am.
confident? Okay. Are you confident to do it for the any other number system, say octal I give? Then how many buckets I will be requiring for that? Can you
Ma'am,
answer?
can you repeat the question?
If I'm representing a number in an octal, how many buckets I require? How many smaller buckets or category group I require to do that? Is it clear? Are you able to answer to that?
Ma'am, 8 buckets.
Okay. So it depends on a radix system or a base of that. Okay. So if it is a binary, I'll require only 2 buckets to represent that. Here it is a 9 because it's 0 to 9. That is basically 10 for us. So it depends on your radix of that. Okay. Or base system. Yes. So if it is a hexadecimal, I'll require from 0 to 15. So I'll be having a 16 buckets or categories group wise, smaller group wise. I will be representing that. That is how the your radix system works, or the radix sort will work for that. Yes. So that is the interesting one. So if you see the complexity, ultimately we comes down to this complexity measure of that. So last class we have seen a different what to say methods or say other sorting. If you are able to recollect, we have seen the bubble sort and all those things. Quick sort also is happens, but there is a very much pitfall for that. We have seen that. Okay, so we have seen many of the sort which requires a logarithmic. Some of them they require n square and all that kind of. So if you come to the your radix sort here, the best case. Now, what is the best case here? It occurs when there is no sorting required. That means already it is a sorted array is given to you. How much time it takes to give the answer for us, output for us. Okay. So the best case time complexity is n plus k. What do you mean by n here? Number of element, k is a radix system. Okay. So it takes that much of time to represent that. Now what happens to average case where it is unsorted and it is jumbled or kind of, and it happens to be what is it? But in this case it happens to be n into k. Okay. So it has, there is a requirement of a swapping and all that. So it requires a n k here. Now, what happens to the worst case here? So, if you compare average case and a worst case, it doesn't make much difference there, because worst case means when I'm given, I want to order them in a ascending order, but I've given them in a descending order. Okay. So, how much time it takes to get the output here? In whatever the case here, average case or worst case, you can see the complexity is n into k. Okay, so it depends on the number whatever you have to the order. Okay, it is depending on your, what you say, the K is a radix system, N is a your length of that. Okay, how many times it is elements are there in that. Okay, N is there element length. So that is how the your worst case and average case as compared to the other kind of sorting there. Okay, so some of the previous sort we saw, it is a logarithmic base, and some of them are n square and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is the for a radix sort here. So if you come to the space complexity, here it requires some kind of a swapping or putting into the different buckets or something. So I'll be requiring n plus k there. Okay, that much space is required for us. And what do you mean by stable here? It is, yes, it is a stable because if I say I got in a given array, I have a say 99 repeats 3 times. Again, I can put them, I can able to get the same ranking, which is different. If you see the heap sort or other kind of sort, it is different there. Okay, so depending on the ranking, it happens to be have a same ranking. All of them happens to be the same ranking. That's the reason it is called as a stable there. Okay. So radix sort is a non-comparative sorting algorithm. What do you mean by non-comparative? Non-comparative, similar previously we have a each element, the elements are compared with the your values, and then it is being assigned, say insertion sort or something like that. We'll be comparing whole data set, data value. But in this case, we are trying to sort them based on the your radix position of that. Okay, so in that way, it is a non-comparative sorting that is better than a your comparative other method of sorting. So it has a linear time complexity. Okay, that is better than your, as I told, some of the algorithm go with the logarithmic also. So it takes a lot of time in case of other kind of sorting. So it is a linearly proportional, yes, but it is limited because n into k. If you see worst case or your average case happens to be n into k there. Okay, so it is happens to be the better kind of compared to the your quick sort or some other sort for that. Okay, so that is about your radix sort. Any doubt in radix sort? So it is important, and it is okay. So implementing in the your C++. Okay, I will leave it to you. So it is you are writing your first. You have to find out the maximum number. What is the number which is the maximum number in this in a whole? So that is the first part. Then you have to represent that number in the how many digit, how many place it takes. Okay, that is a what you have to write up. So you have to find out how much length the digit it requires to represent that. So that is the second part of that. Then you have to do the iteration for all the n iteration or whatever. Not n, it is a d. Okay, d is nothing but a number of digit it has to represent there. So you have to iterate for that many loop, and you have to sort in that. So you can use that particular concept to implement your in a C++. Basically, we have our DAC, we are going with the C++. So please do that radix sort implementation using C++. Okay. Then there is one more sort which is similar. It is most of them I discuss with the array kind of. Okay, but it can be go for any kind of tree also. The one important or usually used sorting is nothing but a heap sort for the your tree. Okay, binary tree, because already we are already studied for what do you mean by heap and how it can be represented. There is a max heap and so many other concepts. So you require to represent a given array in a kind of binary tree or a heap. Then you require to represent a sorting for that particular tree kind of heap, basically heap. Okay, so you will be trying to do the heap sort. We call this as a heap sort, which is more or likely a kind of tree sorting for us. Okay, so this is entirely different from the other kind of sorting which we discussed. Okay, so I'll leave this for your work, which you already done heaps in your sir's classes. Sir has already given a lot of information on how to create a heap and how to do a max heap in that. Okay, so that is a part you have to do by yourself. Is it okay? So I'll just try to, in a previous class, I told I will provide MS, in a MS team, I'll upload one of the, your, what is that, algorithm, which is the good reference material. So I'll try to put it in a, your MS team. And even for heap sort, if I find, I'll just put that in the your reference materials. Okay. So please go through those two sorting. So that is the our last part for our, what do you say, a sorting part. Okay, so searching we completed, and this comes to the end of your sorting also. So next class onwards we will be going with the your graph. Okay, sir will be taking with the graph and how to represent a any data structure or representation using a graph. It is a very important one. Why? Because in most of now, if you see the artificial intelligence or NLP or some of the other kind of representation, we go with the graphing because we want to connect one with another adjacent element or edge of that, and how they're related, how far they are related, so on so forth. So it's a representation, basically graphical representation, but you're trying to put them in a data structure kind of. Okay, how there is a algorithm or there is a method to represent that. Okay, so that is being used mostly in the your all these new upcoming what do you say, NLP based applications, or even in a Google even in a Google your search, or Google, what do you say, not the search, your route map. Okay, road map, if I want to find out, they are the graph which they use it for the representation. So it is an important one in that way. So the next class will be on from the sir side. So he will be starting with the graph. Okay, so graph and its representation. So a very small part for that. Okay, so that concludes our DSA portion as such. Okay, so once we complete with our graph, we'll be completing with your DSA portion. Okay, so that is about our DSA syllabus as such. Okay, so other than that, if you have any doubt, I can take up that. Otherwise, we will wind up for today's class. It's a very short class. Today's class is very short class. So if you have any other doubt or something, I will take up that. Do you have any doubt? Yes, students? Any doubts? Okay, how about other portions? All of them are completed, or what is the status of that? Most of them are completed, right?
Ma'am, could you please provide the course plan?
Pardon?
Could you please provide the course plan, ma'am?
Oh, sir has not sent to you.
No, ma'am.
Okay, I will send that. Okay, I will put it in a team only. Is it fine? Both the teams, I'll upload the course plan. Okay, so anytime you can
Thank
see
you.
that. There is a class material in that, I'll upload that. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I thought sir has to send to you, so I didn't put that. Okay, any other information? Is it fine? Okay, so we will wind up for today's class. So that is about the radix sort, and I expect you to do the your implementation using a C++, and you can go with the heap sort basically for the binary tree representation in a tree format. There, it's a sorting based on your tree structure. Okay, so that is the your end of your sorting and searching information. So we'll take a quiz. It will be posted in your respective class. Okay, fine.